Well, hello, one and all, and
Hey.
welcome to what should be episode 69. Nice. Painting up the Master Manual, where we are going to be painting up some bandits. And I'm joined, as always, by my good friend, Richard. Richard, who are you and where can people find you?
Hi, I am Richard. I am Warrior Prince 3D. I am your one-stop shop for all your 3D printing needs. You can find me on Etsy, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, over here with Dragonborn Industries, everywhere. We are, as I said, your one-stop shop for all your 3D printing needs, from wee little miniatures to terrain pieces to collectibles to statues to cosplay pieces to pretty much anything that I can fit on the printer. Give me a shout, hit me up. Always got something going on, either something new, bundle deals, offers, or just cool orcs and other bits and pieces like that. You know, anything that we can have some fun with.
And that is who Richard is. No, thank you for joining me again, Richard. And sorry to everybody for missing last week. Unfortunately, my poor doggo decided to have a bit of a seizure, and we had to cut the stream short. Otherwise, though, we are back in, and this is page 27 of the D&D 2024 Monster Manual. Just a reminder that obviously we decided with the update of the system to change to following it now as it is set out. And actually, I think I've enjoyed it more because we've had a bit more variation. How have you found it so far, Richard?
I've enjoyed it a lot more. It means something a bit more different each week, and it's not a case of it's not as monotone in the choice. So it's quite a bit of fun.
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree with you. I think that it was one of those things where, as we kind of like progressed, it was like all the demons, then all the devils. It was like it was getting a bit lackluster for me. So it's nice to have, like, you know, bandits one week and then like a dinosaur or something the other. So I'm kind of digging this new way of doing it and the new layout.
Adds a little bit more flavour to the I say the stream or the videos as well, because it means, you know, it is something new each week, and it is a case of different category, different bit of fun. One week it could be a quarter combat rating, the next week it could be something that, you know, that a level 23 party can't even, you know, touch.
Absolutely. And this week, where we are looking at the bandit, so this is a mini that is very much like the WizKids Bandit mini, which I really like. But this is from Richard at Warrior Prince 3D. I've got mine all zenithed up because I'm actually going to hit it up with my Iwata airbrush and do the leathers that you taught me to do with sepia.
Ooh.
So do you know where the mini's from, and how are you going to paint yours up?
I am currently rushing to find where your mini's from. I forgot to reprint that mini for me, so I've got a Goblin Bandit.
Nice.
From Flesh of Gods.
Which, that's cool.
There we go. That's quite a cool little one.
See if I can, yeah. That's very
I am just literally searching up. I've got the name on the so it's from TPK Lab.
Ah, they're very cool. I like their minis. They're very, very cool. And good morning, chat. How is everybody doing? Dibs, Dragon Skull, Zephyr, I see you there. Welcome in to the show. We're glad to be back. It's nice and sunny here in Cornwall, and I'm just ready to paint some minis. I'm just trying to get my airbrush all set up because I didn't do that earlier on as we were chatting before the stream. Do you know how you're going to attack this mini and how you're going to go about painting it up?
So I'm going to go complete speed paint today, with the possible only addition of a bit of known oil on the armour.
Nice.
I've got a myriad of blues, greys, and leathers in front of me to have a bit of fun with, and malignant green for the flesh. But yeah, I'm going to see what I can do with these and see what fun we can have. Definitely, though, the other model that we were originally going to have for this stream with the Raven is the one I'm going to be using with the sepia ink for.
Fair enough. I've just got a message saying, did I trip over the plug again? No.
Have you turned things off, or have I gone silent?
I'm unsure.
Can chat hear me and Ian?
All good. Okay. Woo!
That was a brief little worry for a second there.
I was for a second. I was a bit like, oh no, Not 2 weeks in a row.
Malignant Green is an awesome name for a paint.
Who's that by?
It's a speed paint, Mum. It's the...
Oh, right, okay. For a minute, I was like, well, I had no clue what was happening there for a second. I was too busy trying to remember how to work.
Too busy shiting oneself.
Pretty much. To which end, then, I suppose I realistically better get a timer up and running because we have 1 hour to get this painted. So, are you ready to try and get this tabletop ready in an hour?
Let's rock and roll.
Go. Right, as I shake up paint to then try and airbrush on the sepia, the bandits are on page 27, as we said, and these are regular, common bad guys that we see throughout Dungeons & Dragons and many different TTRPGs and systems. You know, they're your standard, usually low-end grunts. However, what I do like in the D&D 2024 Monster Manual is that they have put things in like the bandit captains and a few extra types, just like they did for the assassins and stuff. But the basic bandit, which is the one that we are working on today, is a CR 1/8. So it's a really, really low-end, level 1 sort of skirmisher or minion boss. They are AC of 12 when we look at the big three AC hit points and damage dealing. So AC 12 for a 1/8, I think that's not bad. Usually probably like leather armor or something. HP is 11, rules as written, or 2d8 plus 2, so there's a potential of 18 there. Speed of 30 foot, standard humanoids and stuff. And then the attacks on them, you have a scimitar, which is a melee attack roll +3 to hit, and that is 1d6 plus 1 slashing damage, or a light crossbow, which is +3 to hit with 1d8 plus 1 piercing damage. So a little bit of melee, a little bit of range. Otherwise, the stat block itself is actually really simple. Zeros across the board, except Constitution and Dex, which have a +1 in. That's pretty much it. It really is. Very usable throughout campaigns at different points, from the very beginnings to the very end. You can beef these up, or you can, keep them as mass low rate, like minions and stuff, and they're going to fit in just fine. But I don't know, Richard, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, see, I tend to be quite a little snod with things like this, because these are the sort of things I like to beef up. Because when people see bandits, they expect it to be like an easy fight, or not exactly a tactically sound one. But I love using bandits, and I love using them in weird and wonderful ways. Yeah,
and I've definitely used them at starts of campaigns before. They are
oh god, yeah, they're always usually your run of the mill. First 3 sessions, let's have a bandit attack. Let's do this.
Or like your first traveling or anything like that. That's where they crop up.
Yeah,
but I like the idea of having them as part of like a crime lord's entourage, right the way from the very beginning all the way to the end of a campaign, where you can have them as they are as base, and they are just then essentially there to take attacks from massive party members. Because later on we do have the bandit crime lord, which is a CR 11, so
they're pretty beefy.
Yeah, I think that for a small little 1/8 CR, it's essentially you're doing PvP, but it's nice to also use them as like a tutorial, maybe for teaching D&D. Be like, okay, well, these guys are doing this, so you could also potentially do this.
And they are a good one, again, for a tutorial thing of teaching almost like the combat mechanics.
Yeah.
Apologies if the sound comes through there. There is drilling below my flat.
Oh, is that?
But yeah, they're a great mechanic sort of teacher. Well, bad, isn't it?
Could you bring your mic closer to you?
How's this?
Oh, that's lovely. Very, very lovely.
Yeah, so it's because obviously you've got the ones that you've got bandits with bows and arrows and other bits and bobs. So it's nice to be able to sort of teach the basics of combat almost. So these guys can attack from this far, and they can come up and stab you in the face with a shield.
Yeah, like Dips just said, I got to say that I'm slightly disappointed that neither of you are doing a cowgirl type bandit like you portrayed on your start screen. That's just the D&D Monster Manual bandit that's in there. However, there is a sick-ass mini for the Bandit Captain, which is the one I'm going to use next week, which has her like jumping down from a roof with the bird on her arm. I'm really looking forward to that one.
She's actually, I think, she's not the captain.
Oh, not?
No, because I actually used a Loot Studio Bandit Captain.
Oh, are they the Deceiver?
I think she's either the Deceiver or there's another one.
The Crime Lord.
The Crime Lord, yeah, it could be. No, she's the Deceiver because the Crime Lord's the guy with the cowl and the scar.
Right, okay. Good to know for future ones. Zephyr says, always a joy when people drill above or below. Yeah, unfortunately, it's one of those things, we're not going to be able to avoid it, and I'm not the one that's in the room with it, so sucks to be you. So I've gone and put on quite a dark, heavy amount of sepia over the zenith.
Oh, I like that. That looks sweet.
And then I'm going to just use the airbrush just to dry that off for a bit. And then I'm going to try and bring in some highlights with another brown, I think. And then just says, especially since Richard has an awesome one like the one from Soul Good Creations.
Oh yeah, I've got to look at those as well.
So where else would you implement something like a bandit, Richard?
Say again?
Where else would you implement something like a bandit?
So it would be the old traditional, so you'd have like the old campfire attack. But the travel ones are quite fun. But I think the only other weird place I've used them is in a forest near a druid grove. So people are under the presumption of safety.
Nice.
And usually it's the case of when you have them in a city, they're considered thieves and rogues, so they're part of the guild. So it's the same sort of layout and formation, but just different naming. But I like to make them rather tough and incredibly well versed in tactics, because obviously their way of life is effectively robbing and killing folk. So you are going to get some numpties, but some of them happen to be quite good at it.
Yeah, I agree.
If you fail rolls, or if you happen to have set up camp and not bothered to look around in the wilderness, a little way out from your campsite, there could be all sorts of little pitfalls involved.
I actually inclined to agree with you there. I think that's one of the best ways to implement them. Dragonborn says, what sepia ink am I using? This is the De La Rowney acrylic inks. They're like little dropper bottles. I really like these, especially when you got really low pressure on. It's from the local craft store. I'm actually mixing together a little bit of a flesh colour, which is a rose, sort of like peach pink, with that sepia, just to create my next colour. I also like that these are like thinking bad guys. You can have things like traps. You can have things like they have sentries. They have, people, like they have motives. They have political views. These are not just bad guys. They are also, sentient creatures. So they can be reasoned with. They can be different types of encounters. And I very much like. Yeah, exactly. They're bandits. They're going to be very money focused. Chances are, if you've got the coin, you could be like, look, here's 100 fucking coin.
Go and kill him.
Then that'll give you things like, a persuasion check or an intimidate check, stuff like that, to try and get them off your tail, really. So I'm trying to create a dusty brown, which I'm going to use with this mix of colours. Obviously, I'm nowhere near there yet. I'm just starting it off there. And it's almost like going back to redo a Zenith in brown.
I'm literally just trying to put some leathers down at the moment and some other darker bruns. have you ever been really mean with like a bandit ambush or something like that with people in like a camping situation?
Kind of. They were built more like a party rather than just as the bandits. And essentially, I think the current party that was playing was about level 4. And I was like, right, okay. So I basically beefed them up and gave them level in things like rogue. The leader had paladin and stuff like that to give them that more PvP style combat, but without it being PvP in party. And they basically, because they were thinking NPCs, that got brutal because they were like part of like a hunters guild. These guys were an echelon that had come off the one side and hunted tabaxi to like essentially skin them for fur.
Yeah.
And put them into slavery and stuff like that, which was basically part of one of the characters' backstories at the time. So that was, and they were evil. They were literally like, the leader of them was like, they had this horrible glaive and they would have taken somebody's head off if they'd have fallen and stuff like that. Hey, look, how you doing? Dip says, would it be advantageous to recruit a bandit, say an NPC, to your party when traveling through dodgy terrain? Absolutely, you can do that. You can do that through pleasantries, or you can do that through being
monies
or intimidating them, being like, right, we've killed the rest of your crew. You're going to take us through here, or else we're going to kill you too. Because D&D players do that. And absolutely, you completely could. It is... I actually think one of the things are that should be there as an option for people to get out of an encounter or to do in the local area. And I think a prime example of something like that is, I think, Critical Role Campaign 2, when they went to... it's basically like the Riften, like the Skyrim-esque. This place is just filled with like bandits and stuff, and thieves and rogues. I can't remember the bloody name of it, but yeah, it's like that's the kind of place where you could like take, because not all NPCs are going to be like heroes and good. You were going to meet some that are bad, but can be swayed to your side. Oh, what was the name of that place? Was it Stilben? Stilben.
To be honest, I'm going to say yeah, because I have no idea.
I'm going to pretend I remember. It's been so long. Okay. So I'm just going to clear out the airbrush a little bit, because I want to get some of this flesh tone, and I'm going to make it the topmost highlight. And then I'm going to go in and do the base and such. How are you getting on with yours?
Yeah, got most of the leathers down. Just going through with a cultist cloak, which is like a dark grey blue for some of the cloth, and then I'm going to do a bit of grim black for the overall cloak on it, and then try and do some of the flesh. But I'm thinking I might be able to get away with being full lazy and just using speed paints.
Well, if you can do it
without even having to, without adding highlight.
So do you think that speed paint will lean into that for this particular model?
For this particular sculpt, it's been quite nice because obviously how it's sort of how it's made and posed has opened itself nicely to it. So it's painting nice with them, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
A couple of places, it's a case of it's a 2-coat speed paint jobby, but that's fine. It adds a little bit of depth to the, little bit of not say depth, but a little bit stronger color to the leather.
Dip says, I liked it when Crit Roll were attacked by bandits whilst camping, then kicked their ass and stripped them bare and sent them on their way. we met them again later. Yeah, that's exactly one of the things. And it's like, because they're like not just a monster, they are a sentient being. It's one of those moments with parties where you're like, you've got them, you've beat them, but you've kept them alive. Now what do you do? And that's where I think things like alignment can come into.
Yeah, a big thing.
Because if they're like a paladin who is like lawful good, you wouldn't just execute someone. But if they do, you could be like, you've just broken your oath. Like, you are
shit down.
Yeah, you now have to like lose this ability, or you would go down this kind of like road of questionableness. And like, so that's something to remember with stuff like that. Zeph says, is Critical Role good to watch? I haven't seen it. It's definitely, there's a reason they're sort of like the big name. They obviously like play at a very high level of role play.
And that bandit's name that suffered a very ill fate at the hands of some of them is named Trevor.
Yes.
And he was incinerated.
Yes, it was. It's definitely kind of, I think, worth the watch. It's a lot of people's cup of tea, and it's not some others, and that's fine. Everyone's got things that they're into and things that they're like, oh, I do or don't like this. I think, they obviously have done something well because they've got to where they are doing it, and it shows. I think that, I've enjoyed watching them. I don't think that they are my biggest inspiration or my favourites, but it doesn't mean I don't like them. You've seen them live, haven't you, Richard?
Yeah, I have. I enjoy them. I don't enjoy them as much as my wife does. She loves them and she watches them a lot.
Yeah, fair enough.
And like you said, they are. I do love them. I love what they do and what they've done. Again, not always the biggest inspiration, but it's for me. But as I said, I love Matt Mercer as a storyteller.
Yeah, very good.
I love how they. To be honest, I love how they treat each other and how what they do for the game.
And that's the main thing, is how they treat each other. It is their game and we get to watch. Div says, what's the toilet called from Starfinder? So Dave, which is the Double-Tech Assistance Vacuum Employee, was not actually a toilet, but everybody keeps calling him just a toilet. Has evolved now, actually. Has been worked on enough that it's no longer just a little droid. But that was, Beardy, you live Jester.
I do love Jester, yes.
Yeah, Jester LeBall's very fun. But I mean, they're kind of worth to watch. I mean, obviously, like, now that we're getting like Amazon series about their campaigns, so I'd say that like Vox Machina, which is their campaign 1, I actually haven't watched all of that on YouTube. There's so much content out there for them that I did watch that via Amazon so far, and obviously like that's still coming out.
That I've done.
Campaign 2 is where I really would say that they are at their peak. Not that Campaign 3 is not good, I just prefer Campaign 2. I don't want to reveal too much because Dibs is still, I think, working his way through Campaign 2. But Campaign 2 was an absolute... They really clicked together as a party and as a group of friends, and it was really lovely. So I've got this flesh-coloured cloak on now.
Oh, very nice.
We're going to go down the sort of sandy, dusty route. And now I'm going to add some different colours in for things like the face. Other people that I enjoyed watching. So I'm a big fan of the Glass Cannon podcast. They are a Pathfinder game. I'm a big fan of them. I also really like High Rollers. They're a UK Bristol-based channel. How about you, Richard?
Say that again.
Who are your kind of like go-to?
My go-to at the moment is an awesome podcast that I have fallen so deeply in love with. That is the Starfinder podcast.
I wasn't fishing for that, but I'll take it.
For those that have not listened to it, and bear in mind, I've always been a straight-up D&D all the way. I've always done D&D. I've never done... The only other sort of things I've gone off into is stuff like Vampire Masquerade, and I've slightly dabbled. I've dipped a toe in Pathfinder. But Starfinder as a game is great, and the Starfinder... campaign over on Dragonborn Industries is something else. And if you want a beautiful taster into it, go and check it out. But I definitely want to play some Starfinder now. I'm not going to lie.
So you go. Don't worry. Even if it's like, we'll get you down and we'll get you involved. Because obviously you played Pathfinder 2e. Starfinder 2e is going to use those rules directly, so it's a lot more streamlined and it's a lot more easy to get to grips with. And I fucking can't wait. Like, me and Jack in particular, like, we love reading a rulebook and we love like absorbing that shit. And we've been going through the Pathfinder books recently, and we're not even finished with campaign 1, and we're excited about campaign 2. Zephyr says, I'm a fan of D20, Dimension 20, only seen little bits from them, but I admire Brennan as GM. Brennan Lee Mulligan is probably one of my favorite GMs. His ability to throw life into something is incredible. And I didn't know or really have seen Dimension 20 until I saw them do Exandria Unlimited, and he did Downfall, which is all about the kind of like pre-campaign history of their world. Fuck me, was incredible.
He is something else, isn't he?
He is the future of Critical Role, I think, and Dimension 20 are fantastic as it is. Not only that, they just promote love and wholeness together that I am fully behind. Like, I know it's one thing having a channel and having social medias and stuff and being like, hey, come follow us, subscribe, like, subscribe. But it is kind of about you guys here in chat and about community as well. And although I don't interact during Starfinder, having people like Dibs, having people like Fluffy, our moderator, and moderator Geek Phoenix as well as Dragon School, Richard, members of our community who are there quite frequently in chat and stuff, and seeing people get excited about it and having like a Discord channel, it's kind of nice to be able to have that community and actually actively take part. So like shows like this that we do, I fucking adore because I get to hang out with you and do this stuff. And I think Brennan is such a supporter of things like that as well, and being like, hey, we're just nerds. Let's celebrate being nerds together. And I fucking love the community. So, yeah, Brennan Lee's fucking great.
Fuck yeah.
Zeph says, I watched Orion's Hope on Monday and have to say the way you describe deaths of enemies is brilliant. Yeah, those ones are definitely very ad-libbed. There's been a lot of...
You wait to the defib moment. You'll be brilliant.
Zeph, there was an episode, I think it's in and around the 50s, it might be like late 40s, and we had a character death, and basically they became a fucking mulch. They were just completely like turned into liquid, and one of the other characters was like, has a defibrillator, was like, defib, and it fucking broke me. But yeah, I like being descriptive, and I think that for me is like, you know, I'm not a writer and I'm not a professional like people like Critical Role. So like to be able to like come up with stuff like that and do it with players who like really encourage it and who are really into it. I'm very fortunate with who I've got around the table. Very, very fortunate with my casting crew. It's something that I'm very, very grateful for. All right, so let's grab Honey Basilican Grey. Dib says, P.S. I now have D&D behind, and I have created a character. D&D Beyond, and I've created a character. Dibley, the human fighter. Dwayne Dibley. I love it. That's very funny. So, do you, obviously, Dibs, I know that you're looking to start getting into it potentially. How about you, Zeph? Do you play at all? Do you have regular games? Are you looking to game? What's your history with it all? And are you D&D? Are you Pathfinder? Are you more Starfinder? Obviously, I know I've seen from your socials that you do a lot of the Starfinder characters and minis from Hero Forge, which is fucking cool. Right, so for instance, Basilican Grey onto the base. Now I need to go around and pick out some bits. Still got 35 minutes. How are you getting on, Richard?
I'm quite close to being done, to be honest.
Oh, really? Try and bring it. Hang on. There you go. Oh, look at that. That's so very pretty. So, where did you start with that, and how have you got to that?
So with this, I started with the leathers because I went over once, and obviously as they started to dry, I went over again just to darken the leather down. Then I went over with an occultist cloak on the softer parts of his trousers and his top, and did satchel brown for some of the strappings on his feet and the belt and whatnot. Then I went in straight with a grim black on the cloak and the straps for the sword and stuff like that, just to sort of try and have a differentiation between the bits and pieces. Malignant green on his flesh, and now I've just done the brazen copper on the hilts of his daggers, and I've got broadsword silver now for the blades. And then I'm probably going to give the flesh another run for its money, and then do the base.
Nice. So you've really gone for it.
So yeah, it was that weird thing of when I looked at it last week, I had like a really sort of strong idea of, right, I can hit that with that, do that, go there, all with speed paints, and then I'd be done.
Fair enough.
Quite nice to have that in mind. And it's weird. It's not often a model falls into place for me like that so well. And
yeah,
no, so when I saw it,
So I'm just trying to now go around with 5-layer flesh, and I'm trying to pick out all of the really leather bits, like the tunic and the belt and the boots and the bracers, and then I'm going to maybe pick out the inside of the cloak with maybe a blue or something darker, and then pick out the weapons as well. I'll have to pick out some of the skin tones, the different one as well. I played D&D for about 3 years as a player and was fortunate enough to get to be a GM for Starfinder 1.8. Hell yeah. We had our second session last Sunday, but that's about it. That's amazing. Starfinder 1E is my favourite system. Oh, no, so it's my favourite game. And 2E Pathfinder so far is my favourite system. I played a lot of D&D over the years. Same as Richard. I think we played a fair amount, be it home games or elsewhere. And then
I was brought up on it, so I've been playing since I was 14.
So you've been playing it for a lot longer than I have, because I'm new blood. I'm quite late to the party. But
I was quite lucky in that my old man was a big D&D player, a second edition player sort of thing, and he had a big group of friends that he used to sort of D&D on the regular with. So as a little kid, I used to sit up at stay up at night and listen to them all. So I had that as a building block for my D&D, and then I was grounded when I was 14, and my dad was off to D&D, and he asked if I wanted to go, so I did.
Nice. What did you get grounded for?
Probably being a twat. But you never know.
What were you doing?
I want to say I remember, but I really honestly don't. But with my old man, it could have been as simple as I was a twat.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I put it off for years because I didn't want to be, air quotes, that nerd. And then, yeah, it was Starfinder 1E that a friend was like, look, just play this with us for half an hour, see what you think. And I was fucking in. I was so, like, it had just come out, only the core rulebook had been released. And it was like, this is the fucking best thing ever. And the rules were really clunky, they still are. But it's weird. You have to play enough Starfinder 1E to realise that all the shit that doesn't make sense will make sense eventually. It's a weird system that sort of plays backward, but 2E, I fucking love Pathfinder 2E. I really do.
What is Starfinder edition?
So Starfinder's currently on edition 1, but 2E is releasing now. So things like the Galaxy Guide and the playtest have all been out and have been running, and the actual official launch date for 2A, I believe, is June. But it uses the Pathfinder 2E system so that it's completely cross-compatible with each other. But 1E is Pathfinder 1E, but a bit, believe it or not, more streamlined, but designed for sci-fi and Magitech. Whereas they were like, fuck it, let's do 2E so it is completely cross-compatible.
Love it.
Yeah, so it's really, really cool. I really like the way that they're going to be doing it. And yeah, we're going to go hopefully see them at UK Games Expo. I've got like some Starfinder badges that Richard printed out to take across with me. And I think potentially there's somebody called Alex Spidel there, who I think their first LinkedIn thing is avid dice collector. I'm like, well, it looks like I've got some Starfinder dice.
Well, hey.
So just to kind of like schmooze a little bit, really, to be honest, because yeah, the reason that we're now called Orion's Hope as the campaign nickname and why we have to differentiate was because we actually had an email from their head of brand marketing and stuff who were like, change your podcast name. And we're like, what? Didn't realise.
Boy, dickhead, change it.
It's sort of my own fault. I put it out there as Dragonborn Industries Starfinder because I didn't think I needed to call it Dragonborn Industries and then Dragonborn Industries a Starfinder podcast. So that's on me. And they were like, yeah, that's kind of our brand. We don't mind you saying certain things, but fucking wind your neck in. I was like, all right, fair enough. And they were very gracious about it, which is really nice. And so yeah, we finally kind of like, I'd done the thing where I hadn't given the campaign a name because I wanted it to happen naturally. And it just sort of never happened because we're British and naming things is hard. And then we realised that the actual name of the ship is perfect for it. So it became, the other week, Campaign 1, Orion's Hope.
Done and dusted.
Yeah, so... Zeph, whereabouts are you located, by the way? Are you stateside? Are you Canada? Are you somewhere else in the world? Are you the UK? Good to know where we've got people from. I often find myself using the Pathfinder 2e in my Starfinder 1e game. Yeah, you may as well. Pathfinder 2e is great. Dibs, I will save up and hopefully earn a set of Dragonborn Industries dice. They will be mine. Oh, yes, they will be mine. Dibs, you could actually win some this coming week. So when you go to UK Games Expo, find the Midnight Tower stand. It'll be by the Bring and Buy, I believe. I can't remember what stand number it is, but they asked us to feature on their stand. So there is going to be a dice raffle, and there's a chance to win one of the nice big chunks, and also a set of dice. So there's going to be 2 prizes available, and then just links to our stuff. So if anybody who's watching this is going to UK Games Expo, please go check out Midnight Tower. They are dear friends of mine. I fucking love Eric and Tove. They are super sweet human beings who publish third-party content for Dungeons and Dragons. And they are genuinely, I'm so very happy that they were like, hey, feature on our stand. So I'm like, oh, okay.
Oh, hey.
So, Dragonborn Industries is kind of that UK Games Expo.
Well, they are there anyway, because, you're there.
Oh, yeah, I mean, we're going to be walking the floor, but, like, I didn't expect to be there in a professional capacity in any way, shape, or form. And now we kind of are. Okay, so I'm initially from England, but live in Sweden. Oh, no way! So Eric and Tove, Eric's from Sweden. They're she's Danish, he's Swedish, and they are an amazing couple who write D&D books based on other literature inspirations. So they've got I think one is called A Perfect Wedding or An Unexpected Wedding Invite, and that is based on Jane Eyre. They've got an Arthur Conan Doyle-based book, which is a murder mystery. They've got so many others, like Mary Shelley ones based on Frankenstein. Dragon Studios, Ian, you'll be dropping my name in this raffle. Message me. There's got to be a way to do this, right? Because it's like a form thing on the thing. Or great, get on a plane to come over to the UK and come around UK Games Expo with me and Richard and the cat and Dick is going to be there and so many other people. Oh no, I fucking clean that colour off. I want a different one. So I need to go back in and do the neckline. Are you finished?
I'm very nearly there. I'm just about to do a little bit on the flesh. I might actually have to get just a silver and a couple of other little paints just to add tiny little touches on it.
Why not?
Silver, yellow, and I want to say like a dirty white for his teethy pegs.
With teethy pegs. Right. I realised this guy could be wearing leather gloves, so I can just do those in the same colour.
How you getting on?
Yeah, not too bad.
I think throwing print pots around. Fuck's sakes.
I've spent a lot of time talking, which I've actually really enjoyed. Chatting to Cass and to people here. Hey, Zach, welcome in. I'm just trying to get base layers still on. Waiting for the base to dry to be able to dry brush that up a little bit. I need to sort out the trousers to be a bit darker. That's fine. So I'm going to hit that up with the silicon grey as well. Otherwise, though, we're getting on all right. It's definitely going to be tabletop ready. Just to what level, I'm not sure yet.
It's going to be fucking amazing.
So what's happening in Warrior Prince 3D World recently, then? Anything exciting going on?
I would love to say yes, but it's been a bit of a, I'd say, traumatic couple of weeks. It's been an interesting time. So we have lots of new Pokemon cards, 3D Pokemon cards at the moment. I'm also working on, as a constant work on revamping the Etsy store, but also trying to organise things in a bit of a better way so that you can get better deals on bundles and bits and pieces like that. So if someone's after an orc horde, a group of mobs and stuff like that, it's more cost effective to be able to get multiple items on there. Got a couple of statue projects in the go at the moment. I've got Doom Guy here, which is a resin test I did, if he stays all in one piece.
I actually think I missed the comment that said, why is there no massive statue next to Richard today?
Yeah, because it's here. And I've got a couple of statues I'm going to be painting. I've got a couple of new little things up from Bulkamancer that I need to get up and get advertising, and I also need to somehow invent a way that I can fit 63 hours into a 4-hour gap. So it's that age-old thing. So yeah, we are doing all sorts of bits and pieces at the moment. There was something I actually wanted to talk about, and I have forgotten what it was. She's going to kick me now until about an hour after the stream when I remember it. Oh yes.
It's the kind of hype we like to hear. It's going to be awesome. Yes, it is. Zephyr says that Doom statue is mega cool.
It is pretty damn wicked. It won't be one I paint. I think I am just going to clean that up. Once I've taken the photos, the resin side of it, get it sprayed like I like, and do another photo shoot on it. And that bad boy will be for sale.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I've also got to sort out some of my painted statues I've got to get them up, because they are obviously going to be for sale. Like that ghoul I showed you this morning.
Have you got that to hand to show off?
In theory, bear with me 2 seconds.
I'll actually put you into full screen mode for that.
That is ghoul.
Oh my god. Let me put you in full screen mode. There you are. Jesus. It's so good.
And yeah, he is up for grabs.
So where can people get that?
Message me on Instagram.
How much is something like that?
Expensive.
Geeky Phoenix, welcome to the chat.
However, he is purchasable from the Etsy store as a plain printed model for you to paint yourselves.
Oh god, so awesome. I love the size in which you did it as well. It's fucking insane. Right, I need to grab a couple of flesh colours. And I only really need a highlight.
trying to grab my small brush, but I've got my brush pot under all sorts of crap here. Really need to organise my desk better.
Yeah, me too. So in the space of like 1 week, I've gone from being organised to like a mess in here. I'm like, oh yeah, okay, we're back.
That's what we're going to do today.
I wish. So many things I need to do. Right. That's one side. There we go. Just need a tiny little dab of barbarian flesh. Get that onto. There's like a thumb knuckle just wrapping around these daggers.
I'm trying to get these bloody teeth a bit of fun.
And then Jim says that ghoul is mine to Richard, plus he's a giant, so in a normal person's hands, it's twice as big. He's calling you tall.
I think so.
Right. I'm going to grab myself a medium grey, something like, it's actually quite a light grey, actually, an ash grey. I'm going to dry brush some of the base just to bring back some of the detail. There's a lovely little coins on there I've only just noticed. I'm going to paint those up in a second as well. Oh, submitting to Richard. Oh, my bad. Trying to read around a corner. My apologies. Right. Come back in brown. So 18 minutes. I think it's going to be all right. There's also a lantern on here that I want to try and get looking good, but I don't think we're going to get it glowing or get an OSL off it today. Can't be mine. To pay for Richard's mortgage, I'd have to pay for Richard's art. I'd have to mortgage the house. Yeah, fair enough.
Not worth that much.
I'm going to use greedy gold because I rarely use it. Then I expect to open up this thing every time and it just explode everywhere. Do you get that with greedy gold from the army painter?
I don't think I actually have greedy gold, or I've not used the army painter's gold, I should say.
Some nice coins on the floor there. I find that mine explodes every time I open it. Something about this particular paint. It's done it ever since like wave one of the original paints.
I do have that with a few of them though. Plate mail metal having just done it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Greedy gold is also a great name for a colour, yeah. If you said Dragonborn entries, you mean your vision doesn't bend 90 degrees? That's right. That's right, it does not. How are you doing, Geeky? Right. Need to get it. Feeling like this guy's blonde.
You feeling the blonde, are you?
A little bit, yeah. I asked you, I got lost in chat. Have either of you used snakebite leather through an airbrush?
Yes.
I have not. You have.
Yes. It's very nice.
Sorry if I got lost earlier, Devs. I don't mean to lose any comments. If I do, people do just shout them out. Very happy to go back to myself. I don't even think I've got snakebite leather.
That's one I enjoy using.
Good, thanks. Just 21-month sub message on Twitch. That's crazy. Yeah, it's fucking nuts you've been here for that long, Chris. And greatly appreciated, especially with your moderating for us. Very, 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 very grateful for that. It's really hard to get in behind the face mask on this one.
I've got my yellow eyes for this one.
Just trying to get the tops of them cheekbones and then I'll leave it there.
So I've just got to throw a bit of Agrax Earthshade in the teeth because, you know, they ain't got clean teethy pegs, these ones.
No, goblins wouldn't. Okay. Don't think it's far off. Just want to bring back, I think, some of the darkness in the cape.
How long we got?
13 minutes or 12 minutes just rolled over.
Do a slight dry brush on the base then, and I'm done.
I'm not far off.
I don't know if I've got a drying device to hand.
Oh, Dragon's got the same message this morning. Sub-twins. That's very sweet of you guys. Thank you very much. If people are watching back on YouTube, you can, by all means, sub up. We're using Amazon Prime. If you have a Prime account, you can go to the website Twitch, go to our profile, and subscribe with Prime on there by just clicking the button. It's free, no extra cost to you, but if you have Amazon Prime, it's a great way for subbing up to the channel, really.
It's always appreciated.
It's very much appreciated.
Got to keep with the theme of the army painter. We will get them to take notice of us.
Yeah. The thing is, I've stopped trying with companies. I'm like, yeah, you know what? If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I'm just happy doing this.
That's it.
I think I realised something was different a couple of years back. Companies were very happy to get involved with streamers and stuff like that. And now, obviously, there's so many of us that, you know, they have to draw the line somewhere. I think we were just late to the party, and that's absolutely fine. Any Prime subs in chat, use it for free sub to Dragonborn Industries. You deserve something amazing in your life. Oh, Geeky. It's very kind of you. Also, any subs, donations, things like that, we do read out as well. The Starfinder and Bloodhunt, we do that at the end of the streams, like this week when Geeky dropped a load of subs in. We do that during our Drift debrief. So it's still a bit wet right now, but I'm using Agorist Dunes in the recesses of the cloak.
Ooh, I like that. I love how you've gone. I want to say urban bandit, but sort of very on the more sandier scale of things. That looks wicked.
Yeah, I kind of want to try something different. So I was like,
I like that. I love it.
just going to blend in some of that edge work, just because.
Actually, you saying about the debriefs then? What episode do you start the debriefs?
So the Drift debrief started, I think, maybe in the 60s and the 50s. Ooh.
I need to check then.
We'll announce it because it's whenever we hit the ability to have members on YouTube.
Oh, wicked. So you'll announce it on the session sort of thing?
Yeah, basically. It was one of those ones where we were like, what can we do that's nice extra content for those YouTube members and for for Twitch? Twitch live. And it was one of those things like, okay, well, let's do 10-15 minutes where we sit down and we just chat about the episode and we interact with chat, because obviously
I wonder if the podcast will put it into the playlist.
It doesn't go into podcast format.
Okay, so I know then I can just swap over onto YouTube then.
Yeah, so that it literally is only for YouTube members because they are paying members, and for people who watch Twitch live. So you can only catch it on Twitch while the VOD is available, and then for YouTube members, it is quite literally only on YouTube members. I think with Campaign 2, we might do a Patreon level where you get that as part of the podcast, but that's a lot of work.
Yeah, that's right. Well, I'm a YouTube member, so it's something I can go and have a look at.
Yeah, and I also I want the podcast and the show to be free. I don't necessarily want to stick everything behind a paywall, because that's not. I don't think it's good for the community. I think that a podcast should be free and the YouTube show should be free. And if people like the show, they can go and watch the extra content. But otherwise, we just love playing the system and we want to bring it to people. We're not. If people want to donate, if people want to sub, that's cool. But there's no pressure to do so. There's absolutely no hey, if you're watching this, you need to pay for it. No. We're not about that.
Not at all.
No. Well, I just want to see fan art. That's all I want to see. I had some a few, maybe like a year ago from someone, and some a few months back in Discord. It was really sweet. Really, really sweet.
If I could draw, I would.
I have just rubbed some of the paint off the cloak, which is really annoying because that was airbrushed on. First Drift TV is episode 59. Thank you very much, Geeky Phoenix. All over it. I've got to wait for that speed paint to dry now.
Right. I am done.
Yeah, I'm going to call mine tabletop, but I definitely want to put more work in on this. I just need to wait for things to dry in 6 minutes. That's not going to happen. So, Richard, let's have a look at your particular.
I'm actually fucking chuffed with how this came out. Have I got something that can block the view?
Oh, I love that pose. It's very, very cool. And that's all speed paint today, isn't it?
That is literally all speed paint, apart from a couple of little dabs in the eyes, the teeth, and it's actually got earrings. So
that's very cool. So for me, I went to Sandy Town. I wanted to be a more kind of maybe urban or desert bandit. You can see there where I've rubbed off some of the paint, which has really annoyed me. But I wanted that kind of
it still looks good then, and flows are right though. It looks nice. I like that, and I love how you've managed to catch the little bit of sandy hair.
Yeah, I kind of wanted that tiny little bit that pokes out just to catch the cheekbones and the thing. I haven't done the eyes, I couldn't be bothered. But then, yeah, that blue on the inside to match the mouth mask. Coins on the base. But yeah, it's a fun little mini. And I wanted to, instead of just going down the standard regular leathers, flesh tones for desert colours. There you go.
Love it.
Cool. Right, let me come out of between that. And if anybody's looking for their D&D campaign and they can't get hold of any, go check out Warrior Print 3D. Go give them a message on Instagram to say, hey, I'm looking for this, and Richard will be able to tell you what he's got. If not, go to the Etsy store and you can use code 2THESTARS to get 15% off your orders. Also, if you spend over £20 on Etsy, you get a free Starfinder badge. Just saying. Otherwise, that's where we're going to end today's show. Thank you, chat. It's been really awesome hanging out with you again. Sorry I missed this last week, but again, it's things happen. Thank you so much, everybody who has been here. If you're watching on YouTube, again, thank you so very, very much. We'll be back next week with the Bandit Captain. I don't suppose you've got that many to hand to show everybody, or... Wait, there it is.
I believe it is this one.
Ah, where's my mouse gone? There it is. I'm going to try and bring that up full screen. Okay, cool. I will get that one climbed up. Where's this one from?
Loot Studios.
Loot Studios. So the detail's going to be great. We'll be back next week for the Bandit Captain. Until then, guys, thank you so very, very much. Oh, yes, Dragon School, you were quite right. Very good of you to jump in there. We're going to be live on Saturday over on Dragon School Studios Twitch. So we like to do a Saturday night hangout most weeks, and me and Craig will inadvertently and inevitably talk about Star Wars for about an hour straight, and just generally hang out and be friends. So go follow Dragon School Studios as well. And yeah, see us there on Saturday. Thank you so much, guys. We'll see you next week. We'll see you on Saturdays. May the dice gods be ever in your favour.
Toodles.